Hello there, you amazing viewers and subscribers, and welcome to a new video for today. It is Doctor Who Face Off. So in this Doctor Who Face Off, as you can tell, I'm going to be facing off Tom Baker and David Tennant's incarnations of the Doctor. Now, I've put this over through Facebook groups and stuff. Some people have gone and said Tennant's the most popular Doctor for them. Some people have gone and said Tom Baker's the popular Doctor for them. So I thought, why not do a video about which one is popular for me? Now, both Doctors do kind of have the bit of the hardest job ever. I mean, Tom Baker had to take over John Pertwee, who played the role of the Doctor for about 5 years, from 1970 to 1974, over 5 seasons. So Tom Baker basically had to carry on that kind of what stories were going on in the 1970s with John Pertwee's Doctor. Even though the third Doctor basically did get his exile lifted off, and then season 11 was basically a bit more earthbound and a few finishes in time and space, where Tom Baker's Doctor has a ton of adventures across a load of time periods. So we've got a few stories set on Earth, we've got stories set on alien planets, we have the E-Space trilogy with the Doctor, where the TARDIS gets pulled into another dimension, really, through negative coordinates, where the 10th Doctor is basically more of this kind of romantic, lovey-dovey, crappish incarnation of the Doctor. Yes, he falls in love with Billie Piper's character Rose, and then he spends most of the series 3 moping over Rose, and then series 4 he's a lot better because of his friendship with Donna. But Tennant had the hardest job, really, because he had to take over Christopher Eccleston, who basically played the Doctor for one series, and that's the very first series of The Return of Doctor Who. So really, it's a kind of mishmash. Both actors had the hardest jobs to follow on from their predecessors. Basically, Tom Baker had to follow on from John Pertwee, David Tennant had to follow on from Christopher Eccleston. And as you can tell, I have got my cardboard cutout of Tom behind me, so you can see him there. I absolutely love Tom Baker. He's my all-time favourite Doctor. David Tennant's my least favourite Doctor. So I thought, why not do a video of facing off these two? Now, these two Doctors have basically met in audio in Doctor Who Out of Time #1. Yes, both Doctors have basically met each other, and it's a fantastic little audio. Tom Baker is brilliant. David Tennant is brilliant against Daleks and stuff. So these two eras are kind of different, really, because yes, Tom Baker had to follow on from John Pertwee's Doctor, who was more of the action type Doctor, you know, going hey and working with unit and stuff. And then of course Tom Baker has, well, basically Tom Baker is the longest running Doctor, technically over 7 years of playing the Doctor, where Tennant was basically in the role for about 5 years. He would have been 6 if he would have stayed to the 25th of December 2010, but in fact he left on the 1st of, he regenerated on the 1st of January 2010 instead of staying it through another like 11 months. Then he would have been 6 years. Nobody's actually gone and beaten Tom Baker's record. That's how good Tom Baker is. I mean, he was in the role from 1974 to 1981, containing over 7 seasons, which are fantastic, by the way. I love all of Tom Baker's run. My favourite season is definitely season 13 for Tom, where for Tennant, my favourite series for Tennant is definitely series 4. So these two Doctors have got some very quirky moments in their Doctors. With Tennant, you'd see a lot of the quirky stuff in Tom Baker than you do in the Tennant run. The Tennant's more of the romantic type incarnation of the Doctor and stuff. I really hate the whole lovey-dovey stories between Tennant and Rose. Russell, if you're watching this, no more lovey-dovey stuff. No more lovey-dovey. Get rid of the lovey-dovey stuff. Just get out of your mind. Throw it out the window. Bring no more lovey-dovey stuff into the Doctors. Now, if I was going to say which actor is the most definite article of the incarnation of the Doctor, then it is probably Tom Baker, because these two Doctors are very iconic. And to be honest with you, these are the two incarnations of the Doctor that was basically held the show in Doctor Who's basically popular time on the telly. I mean, with Tennant, it became very, very popular for modern viewers, where for Tom Baker, he made the show his own. He became very more popular in the 70s and even in the 80s. I mean, even though season 18, the viewings did kind of drop a bit, mainly around about season 17 as well, but viewings is totally different and stuff. So I'm going to go through each of these sees, like, talks about these eras completely. So for Tom Baker, we had hits a load of companions for Tom Baker's Doctor. Tennant had quite a few companions as well. I mean, with Tom Baker, we had Sarah Jane, we had Harry Sullivan, we had Leela, K9 Mark 1, K9 Mark 2, Romana 1, Romana 2, Adric, Nissa, and Tegan. So basically the fourth Doctor had 10 companions, where Tennant basically just had Rose, Martha, and Donna between 3 series, and then he had a few off companions like Astrid Peth, and of course Jackson Lake, and Lady Christina Zuza, and Adelaide Block. So add that into the main 3. You know, that's around about 6 companions, plus Captain Jack Paisley is a companion to the 10th Doctor and the 9th Doctor because of a few adventures and stuff. So Tom Baker's had the most companions, and the thing is, though, what makes people want to sit down and watch the Doctor and the companion is because they've got to have this kind of friendship, really. With Tom and Sarah, it's just absolutely fantastic. Watch every single episode of theirs. Absolutely fantastic. For me, if I was going to compare season 12 to series 2, season 12 will win by a landslide. Yes, season 12 will definitely win by a landslide, where season 2 will just basically, like, now, even though season 2 and season 12 basically kind of have like Cybermen stories in them, and for me, I have to say series 2's got the better Cybermen stories than season 12 does, because season 12 just has Revenge of the Cybermen, which isn't that great and popular, but I do actually enjoy Revenge of the Cybermen as much as I enjoy Rise of the Cybermen and Age of Steel, Army Ghosts, and Doomsday. And they both have got Daleks in it, because we have Doomsday for a Dalek / Cyber War, which basically was nothing that's ever happened in Doctor Who before. So we got the Daleks and the Cybermen basically at war with each other for series 2. If I was going to compare series 3 and season 13, season 13 would definitely win by a landslide for me, because we've got some fantastic stuff in there, like Terror of the Zygons, the very first appearance of the Zygons. It took them up until the 50th anniversary to come back for the Zygons. We have the Planet of Evil, which is a fantastic Mr. Jekyll and Hyde sort of story. We got the Pyramids of Mars. Again, a phenomenal season. I absolutely love Pyramids of Mars. I really love Sutekh. Sutekh is supreme. Again, just absolutely fantastic. Absolutely love that story. Android Invasion, yeah, pretty much. It's a very hit and miss story, but it's still enjoyable in my book. And then, of course, we have the fantastic extra element, the Brain of Mobius, which is just another fantastic story. And then, of course, we go to the Seas of Doom with the Crinoids. Yes, you heard me right, with the Crinoids. I just love the Crinoids design, especially when it's just especially when it's just kind of like mishmash with the Crinoids, because it's basically the design of the Axons from 1971, which is just really good as well. So I really do enjoy that story. Season 14 and series 4, how can I just say it? It is just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I really just love every single story from season 14, like the Mask of Mandragora, Hand of Fear, Deadly Assassin, the Robots of Death, the Talents of Wing Chiang. You know, some great stories. Where then, of course, we go to series 4, which has got some better stories in there, like Science Library, Forest of the Dead, Stolen Earth, and Journey's End. Again, just absolutely fantastic. Plus, season 14 is the return of the Master since, how can I actually say it? It's the return of the Master since series 3 is, where season 14 is the return of the Master since season 10. So really, season 14 does contain that element. But series 4 has got the return of the Santarans, so that pushes series up for me. We have also had the return of Davros in that season as well. So again, that's just another fantastic push up. I just really love all of those stories in series 4 and then, of course, we have the specials for Tennant, which has got the return of the Cybermen yet again. And then, of course, we go to new stories, and then, of course, Return of the Master, where really Tom Baker has 4 more seasons. Like, we have season 15, season 16, 17, and, of course, season 18. The one thing that makes the 4th Doctor and the 10th Doctor really in common, is that the both villain in their last story is, of course, the Master. Yes, the 4th Doctor falls off the radio telescope, saving the universe from the Master, where the 10th Doctor ends up saving the planet Earth from you know, the Time Lords wrestle on, and the Master basically sacrifices himself to save the Doctor's life by telling the Doctor, get out of the way. You know, that's fantastic. But both incarnations of these Doctors, basically, the Master leaves the radiation bolt running in the chamber thing. So when Tennant basically goes and subs the radiation, but technically the Master kills 2 incarnations of the Doctor. Because he ends up causing the death of the 4th Doctor, and ends up causing the death of the 10th Doctor by making the 10th Doctor have to absorb radiation poisoning to save Wilfred. Now, if I was going to say which regeneration's better, Tennant's regeneration is a lot better because you got more explosions. You got the explosion in the TARDIS and stuff, where Tom's basically falls down to the ground to eat. But if I was going to say which Doctor has the better regeneration line, it's Tom Baker. I mean, Tennant, he just stands and goes, I don't want to go. Shut up. Tom Baker's final line is fantastic. It's literally a lot better than Tennant's. I don't want to go. Yeah. Sorry, Tennant. Tom Baker beats you on this one yet again, because his final line is, it's the end. The moment has been prepared for. He happily lets the Watcher walk into his body to make the regeneration process happen. Yes, Tom Baker is more fantastic than David Tennant is for me. So in this face-off video, I have to say Tom Baker just wins it for me over David Tennant's incarnation of the Doctor. Now, both Doctors do encounter the Masters, Cybermen and Daleks and Santarans. The 4th Doctor has a lot more villains than the 10th Doctor does, so what can I actually have to say about that? Really, I mean, the 4th Doctor for me is iconic, is fantastic. I love every single episode. I mean, come on, it's Tom Baker, people. It's Tom Baker. How good do you need to see an incarnation of the Doctor? It is Tom Baker. Where Tennant is my least favourite Doctor, you know. Definitely that's because of Series 2 and a part of Series 3. I don't like the way he treats Martha in Series 3, where she's there kind of going all googly eye on him, and he just goes, it throws with here, and it's like, oh, very, very rebound. Yeah, Martha's the rebound. Yeah, and then Donna's just the best friend. I love Tennant. I love Tennant and Catherine Tate. Tennant and Catherine Tate are the amazing duo in the Russell T Davies series. I just absolutely love their series together. And The Runaway Bride. But Tom Baker, for me, he has more adventures. He has 10 companions. He has some cracking stories. If I was going to say my top 5 Tom Baker stories, that is Genesis of the Daleks, City of Death, you know, Terror of the Zygons, that's another good one. Then, of course, we go to The Deadly Assassin. I really love that one. And then The Keeper of Traken as well. So that's basically 5 good stories for Tom Baker. But Tom Baker has a load more stories. I literally love every single Tom Baker story. There's some stories I don't really like. Warriors Gate, because I really think Romana 2 deserves a better send-off. We also have The Leisure Hive. Really don't like The Leisure Hive. Really don't. And then, of course, we have Destiny of the Daleks, which is the weakest Dalek story for Tom Baker. Where for Tennant, if I was going to say my 5 technically favourite stories for Tennant, it's probably going to be a lot of Series 4, like Stolen Earth and Journey's End, the Santaran 2-parter, like the Santaran Structure and Poisonous Sky. And then, of course, Forest of the Dead and Silence in the Library. That's like all 4. That's like 6 episodes there, because that's all 2-parters. If I was going to say what's my favourite 1-part, it's definitely Partner in Crime. That makes it in number 4. And then if I was going to say what my 5th favourite one is, definitely Waters of Mars. So that's 5 good episodes for Tom and Tennant, really. But Tom Baker, for me, he's definitely the definite article of the Doctor. I just really love Tom Baker's run as the 4th Doctor. Tennant, I just enjoy. I do admit, I do like some of Tennant's stuff. I don't like Series 2. Series 2 is okay for the Cybermen 2-parter and the Return of Sojourner K9. And then, of course, the Impossible Planet and Satan's Pit 2-part episode, that's another good one. And then, of course, Army of Ghosts and Doomsday. That's the only ones I physically enjoy. And Teeth and Claw. I really love Teeth and Claw. But the rest of the episodes of Series 2 are very, very hit and miss. I mean, a lot of Series 2 is definitely miss. I'm not missing much when I do a rewatch of Series 2. I probably will do, actually, at some point. But there's some episodes, like when I'm rewatching the Tennant era, I'll go through the episodes I physically want. Where for Tom Baker, I just watch all of them in one line. One massive cut, I watch all the Tom. Say if I fancy a story from season 12, I'll go to my season 12 Blu-ray box set and rewatch all them. But if I'm in the mood for one particular story, It's probably the Ark in Space or the Genesis of the Daleks or City of Death. It's definitely one of those three. Those three are just absolutely fantastic, phenomenal. Let me know in the comments which Doctor wins for you of this face-off. Are you more of a Tom Baker? Do you think Tom Baker's more popular than David Tennant, or do you think David Tennant's more popular than Tom Baker? Let me know in the comments. Please do like, subscribe, and share, and join me for more awesome Doctor Who content. And the next video will definitely be out on Sunday because unfortunately I'm doing an all day at work tomorrow, so there's no video coming out tomorrow, unfortunately. But there's definitely a video coming out on Sunday, and it will probably be a big finish review. Because I'm in the middle of listening to a fantastic Tom Baker sort of story with the return of the Cybermen, and of course the second Doctor and Jeremy McCrimmon. Yes, I'm actually listening to Return to Taros by Big Finish. It's a fantastic story. I'm loving every single moment of it. So thank you for watching this video. Please do like, subscribe, and share. And join me for more awesome Doctor Who content videos. And have a great day.